Welcome to the NSIC Spotlight, the voice of NSIC student athletes, powered by gpac. gpac, growing people and companies. I'm your host, Nick Corner, Assistant Commissioner at the Northern Sun. Today, we're joined by Mary Satori of the Minnesota State volleyball team. Mary, thanks for joining us on the Spotlight.
Thanks for having me.
So we do each week. Let's start with you telling us a bit about yourself.
So I am a redshirt junior outside hitter from Manitowoc, Wisconsin. All the way across over by Green Bay. And I'm a special education major, and I'm also the youngest of three girls in my family.
All right, a red shirt junior, your first year at Minnesota State. Tell us about your journey from high school to now playing for the Mavericks.
Yeah, so during high school, I played for my high school Manitowoc Lincoln, and in club, I played for both Fox Cities Elite and Appleton, and then Milwaukee Sting. My high school was a little abnormal since it was COVID, so that made recruiting a little hard for me. And that recruiting process was a little tough because I wasn't able to visit a lot of campuses. I knew I loved the NSIC because it was a super competitive conference, and I loved the Division II level as well as I wanted to stay in the Midwest close to home. Because of all that, I ended up playing at the University of Minnesota Duluth for my first 2.5 years, and there I ended up going through a knee surgery, and that recovery process was really tough for me. I lost a lot of love for the sport, and I almost thought about quitting, but instead I decided to enter the transfer portal for a fresh start with volleyball. And coming off that injury, I definitely was not the same player I used to be. So, super thankful that the coaches here, Corey and Megan, both took a chance on me, and I'm forever grateful for them doing that. And I'm also super thankful that I have found my love for volleyball again, and that I definitely trusted God's plans, and that's what ultimately led me here to MSU, playing with these great girls and great staff.
Yeah, one of the toughest things to deal with is an injury, having to sit out and watch a sport that you played your entire life. How did that year change you, or what did you learn most from having that injury and then coming back from it?
Yeah, going through that redshirt season was definitely a lot for me. I struggled a lot with my identity, as any athlete does. We view so much of our worth of how we're doing on the court. And for the first time in my life, I wasn't able to do my sport. So it was hard to watch games from home, not being with the team, and always ask myself, why me, things like that. But being out for 2 years, getting back, I can truly say that I believe that was God's plan for me, and it all did work out. And I think being surrounded with people who truly believe in me is what made the biggest difference in it all. And I obviously had to learn discipline, that you have to show up every day, even if you don't want to. And really made me thankful to be able to play now. And now I definitely do not take for granted being in collegiate athletics. So super thankful to be doing it again.
And it is definitely working out as Minnesota State is off to a 14-1 record, one of its best starts in over a decade, including being ranked number 22 in the nation in the latest AVCA poll this week. What was the team's reaction to hearing about that first time ranked since 2012?
Yeah, our team was definitely super excited. We've known for a while now, we've had a lot of potential, but kind of being ranked ninth in the conference preseason kind of helped light that fire under us. And being ranked is huge, but we know that we're not satisfied with that, and we're hungry every day for a win. And we know every day in the NSIC is a battle, and we are going to continue to show up and battle every single day.
Talk about the culture that Coach Corey Phelps has instilled in this Maverick program.
Yeah, Corey talks a lot about culture, and that's something that I'd say is definitely an emphasis on this team. We talk a lot about supporting each other through the ups and downs. We also talk about holding each other to a high standard. And I think it's really cool that this is something everyone is bought into on our team, despite their age or experience. Everyone's bought into this. And it's also really cool how much talent and depth we have on our team, yet every person wants the player next to them to succeed. So those are two things that definitely not every team has, and I'm extremely thankful that our team has that, and I think that's something that makes us really good.
Yeah, you're leading the team in kills and points, but who are some of those other teammates you just kind of mentioned that opponents need to be aware of on this squad?
Yeah, that's a really hard question. Our team is something. different than most that we don't have one or two people that I'd say are our go-to people. Both Emily Kern and Avery Rosenberg do a great job in the middle, putting the ball away. And then we have Avery Klein over there on the right side, and she's just so consistent, always gets the job done. And then our freshman outsides do a great job moving the ball around as well. So it's super special that we always have three, if not four hitters getting double-digit kills, which is super rare in this conference. And I think that's just a huge testament to our back row and our setter, Jaden, for doing a great job running our offense. So if I could just pick one player, I would, but I think our team's just so balanced overall this year that I can't.
Yeah, that's what teams need. You need that balance. You can't just rely on one player every night in and out. This weekend, you travel to number 11 Wayne State and then to Augustana. As we say, there's no nights off in the NSIC during the conference schedule. Talk about how you prepare during the week for these Friday, Saturday back-to-back matchups.
Yeah, NSIC, like you said, unlike any conference in the country, that on any day anyone can really compete with anyone. And we know that. So training hard in practice is what helps prepare us for those games. We know a lot of times sweeps aren't likely, and we're going to have to battle 4 or 5 sets. So going hard in practice, bringing positive energy, grit, and being super competitive is kind of what we do every day in practice. And playing back to back two great teams is also super tough. So the scouting side of that can be a little more tough, having those two games back to back. But at the end of the day, we know as a team that doing what we do well and serving hard and running our offense, no matter who we're playing, is what ultimately is going to have our team have the most success. So we prepare a lot by knowing what the other team's doing, but really just focusing on what we do best is what we focus the most on.
A lot of great venues around the NSIC and the region. One of them, the Sanford Pentagon, which is hosting the NCAA Elite Eight. Tickets go on sale today for that. So if you want to check that out, go to northernsun.org/D2volleyball. Get your tickets for that coming up in December. Some of the best volleyball in the region coming up. However, the question for you is any venue in the NSIC that you particularly love to go play at?
For me, Concordia St. Paul has actually always been my favorite gym to play in. They're also one of the only teams I've never beaten since I've been in the NSIC. But not only is the drive shorter than most, but it's also super close to a lot of our families. So we always have a great group of family and friends that travel, and we always have a great crowd when we play Concordia, which makes that game super fun.
Was just going to say the Gangolf Center is always a great environment there in St. Paul. Now, come game day, any special routines or superstitions you have before a match?
I don't really have any superstitions, but I'm definitely somebody who plays better when I have a lot of energy. So, singing, dancing in the locker room, probably one of my favorites. But then I also take time to pray and visualize before every game. And then our team also will do a team prayer before every game. And I think that's just a great moment to get all of us in the right mindset, thank God, and remind us how thankful and lucky we should be to be playing college volleyball every day.
Yeah, sometimes a good routine is better than any great superstition you might have. So, sounds like you have a good routine going there before each match. Final question for you today. What's been the best piece of advice you've been given during your athletic career?
Mine would probably be something my dad told me and my sisters before every game day growing up. He'd say, have fun, be safe, play hard, and have fun. And I think that's something I carry with me every single day just because what we're supposed to be doing is fun, and otherwise we shouldn't be doing it. So it's definitely something I try to embrace every day. It'll remind me how thankful I am to be here and really be in the moment every time I'm playing college volleyball.
The reason I asked the question, I love to hear the different people from coaches to dads, all the different advice that's given out. Some great advice right there. And that's right. You got to have fun out there. Why else are you doing it? So that's going to wrap up this week's show. Thanks again to our sponsor, gpac. Very best of luck to you and the Mavericks the rest of the season.
Thank you for having me.